Hi guys, it's Suzette from Anewyoricanthing Kitchen. Today we're going to be making bacalaitos, which is really exciting because they're delicious. It's a little bit of a process, but you guys got this. So the first thing you're going to need is your bacalao. So you want to make sure that you buy the salted Pollock fillets, okay? And it's going to be without bones. It's skinless, so it's a great product to buy. Okay, you're also going to need all-purpose flour. I'm going to do 4 cups of flour today. You're also going to need some baking powder, about 3 cloves of garlic, and I have 2 tablespoons of sofrito. So we're going to put it together. The first step that you do need to do is you need to soak your bacalao. I soak my bacalao overnight in cold water. Throughout the day, you're going to pour out the water and put fresh water. So you get a lot of the salt because it is a salted product. So basically, you're just kind of desalting it a little bit. So you want fresh water, you're going to pour it out, more fresh water, let it sit for a few hours, and do that 3 times throughout the day. And you can let it sit overnight. It does not have to be refrigerated. So you can leave it on your, on your table, your stove, or whatever. Then you're ready to start cooking it. So when you cook your bacalao, you're going to put new fresh water and you're going to cook it until it gets soft, about 30 minutes or so on a rolling boil. I already boiled my bacalao. It sat overnight. It's already boiled. So you want to let that cool because we're going to use the water from the bacalao in your bacalaitos. So what I do is I let it cool down, and then I'm going to drain some of this water because I like to use the water from the bacalao, which has some salt in it, and fresh water as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pour some of this out so we can have it on reserve for our flour. So we're doing 4 cups of flour. So I'm going to put 4 cups of the salted water, but we're also going to use fresh water because if you use all of the salt water from the fish, even though we've soaked it overnight, it can be rather salty. Then you're going to take your bacalao and you're going to separate it into a different bowl so that we can crumble it up into our bacalaito mixture. So once your bacalao is cooked and cooled down, you have about 16 ounces here of your bacalao. And then we have some of the reserved salt water. We may not use all of it. It really depends on, it's really, the mixture should be a little bit more watery than a pancake mix. That's the consistency you're looking for when making bacalaitos. So we're going to start out with our flour. So we're going to put 4 cups of flour. We're going to add a teaspoon of baking powder. Okay. We're going to add our 2 tablespoons of sofrito. We'll put that right in there. And we're going to add about 3 cloves of garlic. So I use my handy dandy garlic crusher. Get all the garlic in there because that's going to give it nice flavor, and your sofrito also gives it nice flavor. You don't need to add salt. You don't need to add adobo, any of that stuff, because the salt water from the codfish is going to give your mix some nice flavor. So at this point, I'm just going to add, and we want to do this a little at a time. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of this. And like I said, we're not using all of this water. I just reserve it on the side just in case. And we're just going to start mixing this. Now, if you have a hand mixer, like, cake mixer, you can use that as well. Sometimes that's a little easier. When I do bigger batches, I definitely do that. So I'm adding more of the water from the codfish. You don't want to pour it all in at the same time because you want to make sure you're not making it too watery. So now I would say I added about 2 cups of the salt water from the codfish. Now I'm going to go ahead and just add fresh water to this because we don't want to make it too salty, because remember the codfish is salty to begin with. So I just added fresh water to the same measuring cup that I had, so it's a little bubbly because there's still salt in there, which is fine. You don't have to rinse it out because that'll also add a little bit more flavor to it. So no worries about the bubbles. It's just a little bit of salt left over. Okay, so now I added the water, and you see how it's still lumpy. We want that to be nice and smooth. You're going to mix this out until it becomes nice and smooth. So if you have yourself a hand mixer, go right ahead. Mix it up. Okay guys, so this is how your batter should look. Okay, it's a little bit more watery than a pancake. If you have lumps in there, just kind of take them out. If you're using your hand mixer, just mix it until those lumps are gone. Sometimes it is going to be a little lumpy. No reason for concern. Now that this batter looks, I think it looks great, I'm going to add my bacalao. And you don't want to crush it. I like to have nice chunks in my bacalaitos. So I just kind of crumble it a little bit. There's bigger pieces. Don't worry about it. You're just going to crumple that up a little bit. See, like that big piece? That's fine. I like to feel like I'm eating bacalaitos and there's bacalao in them. So you want to have a nice chunky consistency in your bacalaitos. So you can actually taste the codfish, that's the beauty of it. And there's no science to it. You're just going to crumble it up with your hands. Okay. And we are done. And just going to fold in your bacalao. So fold it in. And that's it. If you want to add more bacalao, by all means. I mean, this is really up to you. So that's perfect. And we're ready to fry it up. So you can use either vegetable oil or corn oil. It's really your preference. Do not use olive oil because that would burn too quickly. So I have an electric stove, so I'm on a number 4. And that is like a medium heat. So you want to start warming up your oil because the oil should not be cold when you're making bacalaitos. It should be sizzling. So I'm going to test it out and see if we're ready. So we're going to see. So see how that's bubbling a little bit? That's what you want. That's what you want your oil to look like. So that means we're ready. So make sure you're set up. Okay, I have a plate here with some paper towels to absorb the oil. Got some tongs to flip over our bacalaitos. And I use a soup ladle to do my bacalaitos. So you're just going to fill that up. And you want to just kind of let that you want to spread it out. So you can have yourself a nice big bacalaitos. Now you can make these smaller and use a smaller pan. If you want to make like little appetizers, if you're having people over, or if this is just for you and your family, you like the big ones, you can do whatever you want. You can also use a fryer, a deep fryer, and just kind of put that in there. That's how we used to do it, in a big pot with a lot of oil, and we just used to drop it in. I tend to do it in the frying pan, a little less oil, which is a lot better. So you're just going to let that crisp, okay, and before we turn it. So let that bubble and cook, and then we can flip it over and cook the other side. So it is almost ready to turn. It's getting nice and golden brown around the edges. The other side looks really good. So just a few more minutes. You just want to see that crustiness come around on the sides. And you want a nice golden color on the other side. So I'm just going to wait a few more seconds before I turn it. So you just want to turn it over. See that golden color? Some people like it a little bit more crunchy. It's really up to you. I like it like this. You don't want it to be too hard. It should just have a nice crunch to it. So you're just going to continue frying until the other side looks exactly like this. Okay, this looks ready. See that nice golden color? You're going to make sure that drip out that excess oil. Put it on your paper towel, and voila, a bacalaito. I hope you enjoyed my video and you enjoy your bacalaitos as much as I am. Thank you for watching, and you can like, follow me, and subscribe to Anewyoricanthing Kitchen. See you soon.